Thank you very much for speaking to me today. Hello.
Oh, okay. I we've been hearing here in Nigeria about what's happening in South Africa concerning how people from other parts of African countries have been violently attacked by South Africans. So I want to ask some questions based on this so that we will know how we can spread the word and reach a compromise on the issue. So my first question starts with the solution, as in seeking a way out, not talking about the solution. My first question is, what is the South African government doing to curb the violence and avoid future occurrences? So that's my first question.
Well, the South African government has spoken out about the xenophobic attacks, of course, but unfortunately, many South Africans and many people around the world believe that it was too late. Nevertheless, speaking last night, President Jacob Zuma, South Africa's president, told people who'd been displaced by the violence that the South African government does not want them to leave the country, that government wants them to stand together with South Africans and government wants to support them. Now, our various ministers have also spoken out against xenophobia. There was a special sitting in Parliament where our members of Parliament spoke against xenophobia, and there have been mass marches in Durban and one planned for Johannesburg this week, where prominent members of society are also speaking out against xenophobia. Practically, government have set up tents in KwaZulu-Natal. That's the area with what's been so far the worst xenophobic violence. They've set up tents for people to live in, for people who've been chased out of their homes. And really at this stage, our Minister of Home Affairs has been speaking about working with people, about documenting them correctly so that they actually have a place to go and that they're registered on the system.
Okay. And what compensation are the South African government making for those who have been affected by the violence? What sense of compensation are they making?
Like I mentioned, government, and especially in KwaZulu-Natal, the particular province where the violence has been at its worst, they've set up communities, tented communities, for the people who have been affected by the xenophobic violence to move into. But at this stage, what we can say is that no talks have been made about compensation. At the moment, the situation is still very tense, and government are working hard to try and the attacks, to try and stop people being chased out of their homes and to try and stop people being... And I'm sure that talks about compensation and reconciliation will happen. Government has the actual situation under control.
Okay. Images on social media show, and in some images that I have seen, and it's all over social media, images of people shops being looted, people being burned, people being hacked, and everything. And some of the images, one or two of the images I have seen on the internet, you see where people are being attacked, and or where people's shops are being looted, and you see like one or two policemen as if they are walking by like bystanders instead of people who enforce the law. Anyone who sees this might feel even though the government is speaking or they are taking actions according to the little they've done, people might see it as a silent agreement with the South Africans who are attacking foreigners. What do you have to say about this concerning these images on social media?
I think it's important to note, first of all, that some of those images that you are mentioning are not related in any way to the xenophobic attacks that we are currently experiencing. I'm certainly not trying to downplay the severity of what's happening. South Africans understand that this is very serious indeed. But you must remember that this isn't the first spate of xenophobic attacks that South Africans have perpetrated in the country. This happened in 2008, and many of those photographs actually refer to 2008 or to completely unrelated circumstances. So you must be careful about what pictures you're looking at and if they actually portray what's happening at the moment. In terms of what's happening at the moment, we absolutely haven't seen police standing by. We have seen police clashing with the rioters. We've seen police helping people move out of areas of danger. And we've also seen police really working at relocating people to places of safety. In terms of police standing by and not doing anything, I don't know how accurate that is. If we talk about the KwaZulu-Natal province, we know that 200 police officers from all around the province were dispatched to KwaZulu-Natal, that they clashed with rioters using tear gas, rubber bullets, water cannons. To say that they're standing back and doing nothing, I don't believe is accurate at this point.
Okay. Newsinfo.com and Mail and Guardian in South Africa carried a story on their site that said Jacob Zuma, the president of South Africa, Jacob Zuma's son, Edward Zuma, supports what the reason for the clashes have been put at the doorstep of the Zulu king, Godswill Zwelithini, who is claimed that he called to deport foreigners from South Africa. So Jacob Zuma's son supporting what has been said by the king, doesn't it reflect badly on the president who is saying foreigners should stay?
Quite right. When we saw the president answering questions in Parliament last week, one of the opposition leaders stood up and said, how can we trust a president to control the country when he doesn't even have control over his own family? Now, the words of his son, Edward Zuma, were, of course, very inflammatory. Nobody is happy with what he said. Interestingly, the president hasn't chosen to speak out against his son, and we haven't seen any definitive action against Ed Zuma, but we do know that the South African Human Rights Commission have lodged a complaint against some of the comments made. Now, these comments also extend to the Zulu Goodwill Zwelithini, who made comments about foreigners, but the police minister, the South African police minister, has said that those comments were taken out of context. King Goodwill Zwelithini was talking about people who are illegally in the country, and he didn't want that, apparently. But of course, many people are saying that that's not the point, that these comments were really defamatory and could